used to like Google Classroom, and I didn't tell you, but I started working full-time as an English teacher, and as part of the interview, the principal asked me, how are you with technology? And I'm like, oh, I'm okay with technology. And she said, Google Classroom. I was like, yeah, I've used it a little bit and I really don't like it. She said, well, we use it for all of our classes here. I said, love it, love Google Classroom. It's gonna be awesome. So I have been using it all year, and I've actually discovered that I do like it and it's really useful. And I just set up my older daughter Anna's physics course on Google Classroom. She's going to be doing high school physics this semester. She's going to do the whole year in one semester. I got the Apologia Physics course, and I have just set it up on Google Classroom. And that's when I thought, oh, I wonder if anybody else would like to kind of see how I did this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So first, I'm going to show you my daughter's Google Classroom for the physics class that I just set up, so you can see that. And then we're going to go through setting up your own Google Classroom. So this is my Google Classroom homepage. For high school, I have, gosh, I probably have 12 or 15 classes on here, but this is my personal home one. And right now I just have a physics class for Anna, and then I created this one for today so that you guys can see how I set one up. But this is my daughter's physics class. This is the home page for Google Classroom. So when I go over here to this main menu and I click these three, I can select any of the classes that I have. I can also look at archived classes. I have a few that I've archived, but these are my 2 active classes. So I can click, and here's the one that I set up that we're going to look at a little more later. And here is my class for Anna. So this is the home page for it. When you come here, here's the class code. So you can send this code to a student and ask them to join the class. You can also send them a direct invitation that they can just click, and I'll show you where that is in a little bit. Down here, you can see upcoming due assignments. So today she has module 1 due, the introduction. Tomorrow she's got the second section of module 1 due. Up on the top, you've got 4 tabs. The first tab is where we are right now. We're in the stream. The stream shows you everything that the teacher has done. So I set up all of these assignments for her, and each one of these is a separate assignment that I've set up. When I first opened this Google Classroom, this is the very first thing I did. I set up her syllabus.
So when you said they have to log in, so do they need a Google account too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that they have to, because they have to, I think all 3 of my kids do, but I just want to make sure, like, so, but in order for them to join, they have to have a Google email too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true.
Sorry.
They do have to have a Google
I just want to make
email
sure that was right.
Yep. Good question. Thanks. Okay. So I'll show you. This is the very first thing I set up. I made her syllabus. Here's the materials that we're using. Here's all of the modules that are in it. And then I broke it up. So we're doing 10 to 11 days per module. For this class, they recommend 2 weeks per module, but we're trying to get it done in 1 semester. She's already been through a lot of this material at the local community college, and she's really good at math. So 10 to 11 days is going to be fine for her. So this was the first thing I set up. When I go back to the home page, that's in the stream. The next tab is classwork. So when you click on classwork, and your students will see this page as well, you see all of her assignments and materials. These are topics that I set up. I like to have a place for assignments to go, and then a place for stuff to go that's not assignments, that's just materials. If there's a video that I liked that I think, oh, this will help you understand something, I might put it there. But you can create any topics you want. You could have, if you've got several students who are all taking the same classes, and say you've got German and you've got English and you've got history, you could set up all these different topics. So here you've got all their German assignments, and here you've got all their history assignments. You can set that up however you want. I'm going to go through how to create assignments later, but just for now, this is how you make a new assignment by clicking this button. Again, I'll come back to that a little bit later. The third tab is the people. So these are the people who are either teaching or are students in the class. So I have my husband and me as the teachers and my daughter as the student in this class. You can add people by inviting them here. So I'm going to click invite, and I can just type in emails and invite anybody that I want to take this class. The fourth tab are, again, Anna is the only student in here right now. I've set up all of these assignments, but so far she has just completed 2. She completed the student notes and she got 5 out of 5. She completed the introductory lessons and got 8 out of 8. Somebody who registered asked, can you create a grade report from this? Yes, you can, but you need an add-on application, which is free. And I put in the notes for the class how to download that and the video for how to use it. So if you're just using the free Google Classroom, you can't do that automatically. You need the extra app. Let's go to the next part of our class, which is setting up your own Google Classroom. So go to Google, classroom.google.com. I've linked that in the notes. You can click that link, or you can just type in classroom.google.com. Now that takes me here because I already have a couple of classes set up. But when you get here, click the plus. And from the plus, you can either join a class that already exists or you can create a class. So you guys are going to create a class. You are doing this on your own, not through an educational institution. So you just have to say, I've read, I understood, I'm not using Classroom at school with students. This is just saying you're using it for your own personal use. Part of the reason for that is if you're doing it through a school, your kids are going to have school email accounts, and you can't use this for school email accounts without the school setting up a Google Classroom for you. So that's why you need to do this. Let's name the class. I'm going to name this the brand new class. And I don't really need to add these other things because I'm only going to be doing it for a few students. I don't need sections and subjects and rooms, but you can add those if you want. And then click Create. And it takes Google just a few seconds to make your class for you. And there it is. Here's my brand new class. Okay, so this is your new class. Again, here's your stream. Nothing's in it yet because you haven't added anything. But let's go ahead and add something so it'll show up in your stream. Let's go to classwork. And here's where we're going to do create. Now, when you create, you can create an assignment, a quiz, a question. I've never actually used question. We could try that today if you want. Material. When I did a syllabus, I clicked it as material. You can also reuse a post that you've done before. And you can also create a new topic. So let's actually start with topics. Let's create some new topics. I like to have an assignments topic. And I'm going to create another topic. I like to have a materials info non-homework stuff. This is where I would probably put a syllabus. So I'm going to stick with those two for now. Now I'm going to create some material, and I'm going to call this my syllabus. And what am I going to put in my syllabus? Let's see. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to put the information that I sent you. Here's the handout for the Harnessing Google Classroom or homeschooling handout. And here I'm going to do an upload. So I'm going to click upload, and it's going to let me pick the file that I want. I'm going to go to my documents. I've got this under homeschool. I've got it under Harnessing Google for Homeschool. And here's the PDF. So that's going to attach it, and then kids can click on that to see it.
I think I missed something.
Okay. Where are you at?
That's okay. Sorry. So when I get to materials, how do I don't see something. I don't see a way to add something, or I don't see a way
I was going to ask the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I got there, I don't know why, but on my screen, I just have materials info. There's 3 dots, but when I go there, it's rename, delete, or copy link. And so I don't see how to create, like, to do what you just did. I'm sorry. I wasn't watching.
No. That's okay.
Oh,
is this what it looks like for you? Is this where you are?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Okay. So no, I don't see that. I don't have that create button up there.
Go to all topics.
Go to all topics. Okay. So hit create there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that'll just let me create a topic there. So, but I already created a topic.
When you click create, you should see this pull down. You should see assignment, quiz assignment, question
Yes,
material.
I got that. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you've already created your topics. Now we want to go and create something else. I was using material for my syllabus.
Okay. So that's what got me confused, because you're creating material not within this, not within that subheading. So we're back to this original one, and we're creating material there.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you're going to assign it a topic.
Okay. That's where, that's where
you clicked, I see, you clicked in here.
Right. Yes. And there, I was like, how do I create?
Oh, and there's nothing to do there. Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope. You need to go back to, all topics, create.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And then, I'm going to finish creating what I was working on.
Okay.
So this is where you come over and you assign it a topic. So I'm going to assign mine to materials. Do you see that?
And then under materials info. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
Just assign the topic over there. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then I can come up here and I can post. Let me actually show you these two. So you can assign it to different classes here.
Mm-hmm.
These are all the classes that I have in my Google Classroom files. I have my physics class, test class, and this brand new one that I just made. So I can assign this to all of the classes if I want to. This is useful if you have multiple kids that you have different Google Classrooms set up for. So like Missy, you've got kids in many different, both of you have different kids in different grades. You might set up a Google Classroom for your oldest child, for your second child, for your third child, and then you've got their names here. They've got their own Google Classrooms. But if they have the same assignment, then you can send this to whomever you want. That's really useful. Within a Google Classroom, if you have one Google Classroom set up and it's got 5 students in it, but you only want 3 of them to get this particular material, you can click which students should have it. Now, I don't have any students in here yet, so I can't click different students, but you can select who gets to see it. Then when it's all ready, you're going to hit post. Students will see the material immediately. Go ahead and post it. Then if you go back to your stream.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
When you create something like that, are they notified some way via Gmail that there's something new? Okay.
They do. They get an email that their teacher has posted something new.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, of course.
Just in terms of usage, like, do they just log in to Google Classrooms themselves? Like they have their own sort of view? Is that how they... And so then they would go through and complete they would have different, like for a homeschool situation, we would create a different class for each subject, potentially. Is that how that would look? Or
you would have to decide what's the most useful way for you to set it up. Do you want to set up a different Google Classroom for each subject, or do you want to set up a Google Classroom for each child and then use
Assignments
the
for the different.
topics to set up for their different classes?
Okay.
Either
That
way
sounds-
would work. It's just what would be the easiest for you.
Okay.
And I can help you sort that out. We can talk about, what specifically you have, specifically what your kids are doing, and I can try to help you figure out what might be the easiest way to do it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, and so yeah, when I come to the stream will just have a whole list of these little rectangular bars for everything you do. But then when you come over to classwork, it gets divided into materials, assignments, whatever your topics are will be under here. Now, your kids they'll have the same view. It will just be tailored for them. This is my particular view set up for me as the teacher, but they will get the same thing. They'll have a page that has a stream, a classwork. I'm not sure actually if they can see all the people that are in their class. I think they can. They can only see their own grades. Oh, we don't have any grades here yet anyway. I know they can't see each other's grades. I think they can see who all the students in the class are. But the great thing about this too, my daughter is getting an email when an assignment is due. Google Classroom sends her an email and says, hey, this assignment from your physics class is due tomorrow. Do you want to turn that in? So I'm not having to remind her. And when she turns it in, I get an email that says, Anna turned in this assignment. Would you like to grade it? Which is super helpful.
Can I ask one quick question about that? That's
Yep,
only
sure.
if it's a something they would type up and upload. Is that what that sounds like? Or is that like turning it in? Is that multiple?
Oh, they can they will get the email that an assignment is due. You can decide how you want that turned in.
Okay.
In school, my students, I've told them they can turn stuff to me any way they want to. They can give it to me on a paper in my hot little hand. They can turn it in via Google Docs. They can take a screenshot and email it to me. I don't care. Other teachers are more specific. They're like, I want this turned in on Google Docs. I want this turned in on paper. You can decide, how you want to do that, but they will get the reminder regardless.
Okay. And then your reminder, do they just click something that says, yes, I'm going to turn it in. And that's when you get the reminder.
Yes, now a student can go to, we don't have an assignment here yet, but they can go to their assignment and then there's a button that says done, and they can say that it's done, whether they did it or not.
Okay. I was going to ask
this-
that so if the assignment was like read pages, 17 through 27, that's the assignment. They don't have to turn anything to me, but I need them to read those pages. But if they mark that done, then that's their way of letting me know that they've done it.
Yep.
Okay.
This confounded me at the beginning of the school year because I kept getting emails that all these students completed assignments, and then I'd go and there's nothing there. And some of them were written assignments, but I was like, oh, wait, she gave that to me on paper in class. And then one of the other teachers told me, yeah, they can click done. And it's actually really useful for them because on their Google Classroom page, then that shows them, oh, here's your list of assignments. Here's all the ones that are done. And it says done, 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 done. So they can see if there's anything still outstanding. That's really helpful for them.
Good. Okay. Got it.
Okay, let's go ahead and make an assignment. So go to create assignment. When you're creating assignments, it's helpful to give them a title that the student's going to recognize quickly what it is and that you're going to recognize quickly what it is. So actually, let me go back here to my physics class and show you that. For her assignments, I'm labeling each one as, so student notes, pages 1I through III. Introductory remarks, pages 1 through 4. Module 1, Introduction. Oh, you can't see the whole thing here. View assignment, here we go. Introduction, Distance, and Displacement, pages 5 through 8. It's easier to see what the assignment is, and later when you want to go look at it, if you've named it some random things like writing assignment, after you've done 15 writing assignments, you're like, which assignment was it? You know, writing assignment on King Arthur, so that you can find it more easily. So I'm going to go back to my new assignment here. Let's title it, we'll just go with King Arthur essay. I'm going to give instructions. Please write a 3-paragraph essay about King Arthur's relationship with Lancelot. If I have anything that I want to add, like if there was a YouTube video on this topic, I can click that and I can just paste the URL for the video. Let me go ahead and just do that.
So it's just so nice to like think like, oh, it could be in a spot and it's there until it's done. And so
right, and not shuffled in with all the other texts that I sent her about, don't forget to do the kitchen and don't forget to do this. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I've really come to appreciate how useful Google Classroom is. And so here's a video. I want to take this video. I'm going to copy the URL. I'm going to come over here and post it with the assignment. Now I have to search for it so that it finds it, add the video. There it is on the assignment. So they can look at that. You can put any kind of link there. If you find another article somewhere, you can link it and it will stay here.
I have a question about that, because like for chemistry, I bought the individual videos. It's on a thumb drive. Is there a way to incorporate that here? Or would I have to, for example, if I downloaded all those videos onto my computer, could I then just go search and add that video from my computer? Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. You would use upload for that.
Upload, and I could just upload. I could just point it to where that was, and so then that chemistry thing is right there, so that they didn't have to have the thumb drive themselves or search through all of them. I could search through and set that up like that.
Exactly. So I'm gonna look for. Let me see. I've probably got some videos. I have a little knitting and crochet business, and here's a video that I did on how to bind off linen stitch. So I'm going to upload that to this assignment, and there's the video. And they can just click it from here and it'll open it, and they can watch it. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, good. So a little bit of time for me to set it up, but at the same time, that time invested is going to be time saved for both of us. So I don't have to look up the video and she doesn't have to look up the video.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I think that's a great use for this too. And it'll all be organized so she knows where to find it.
Right. And what lessons and that kind of thing. Good. Awesome.
Yep. So then if you come over here, again, you can choose which classes get this assignment. You can choose which students are going to get this assignment. You can set up ahead of time how many points you want this to be, or you can just say ungraded. If you're really good at planning ahead and you know, like, I'm going to make this a 15-point assignment, then you just put it in there, 15 points, and you can grade it right here on Google Classroom, and I'll show you how to do that. Set a due date. We're going to make this due January 11th. You can even set a time if you want to at school. And then I want to pick a topic so that it will get funneled into that right topic in the classwork. And I'm going to make this an assignment. The rubric, I have not used that a lot. You can set up a rubric for grading. I haven't found it that useful, so I haven't really used it, but you can do that to help you with grading. Now I'm going to go ahead and assign it. And then it pops up here in the, or sorry, it's down here, King Arthur essay and assignments. And, oh, you know what? None are assigned because I don't have any students in this class yet. Let me go over here to my Anna physics class so you can see, here's some practice problems she's going to have to do. So it's been assigned. It says one student has had this assigned and it has not been turned in yet. When it gets turned in, this is going to be out of 20 points.
Will she get an email that it's been graded?
Yeah, she will.
Okay.
I'll take care of it. She knows I'm doing this class today, so she'll figure it out. All right, so that's how you do the assignments and the materials. I think that pretty well covers setting up your own classroom. Do you have any questions about that?
Like what if somebody else had already set up like that chemistry class I talked about and they'd already broken everything up like that? Is there a way for them to share that with me that I could copy almost like Quizlet? I don't know if you ever use Quizlet or whatever,
Oh,
but
yeah.
when we use Quizlet, I'm not typing all that stuff in. I just go and grab it from somebody else who already did it.
Yeah, I don't, but I bet there is. And if you find out, let me know. And I may try to look that up too, because that's a really good question. If you were in CC, it would have been great. Like if the director had set up a Google Classroom for everybody who is in Challenge 1. Because yeah, it was a little bit, it was hard for me to know what exactly is due. And but a CC director absolutely could use Google Classroom and set it up and have all the assignments. You could have a different topic for each one of the strands.
Right.
And yeah, it would be so much easier to keep track of everything that way. Yeah, if I were homeschooling 3 kids, I think I would set up a Google Classroom for each child. And then, yeah, and under the topics for each one, if they were in challenge, I would just make a separate topic for each strand.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that would be most effective because I think that would help me keep it clear as well because they're so different. You know, I mean, the strands are the same for the most part, but like different, you know, biology, chemistry, you know, that kind of thing for that part. But okay.
Can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
Maria? Just what do you, in using it regularly, do you feel like it's something I could use at that age? Like, is it too much?
Good question. I mean, I'm not in favor of young kids even having email addresses. So if you used it with him, I wonder if it would be just useful for you to set it up. You would kind of have to manage it for him, but at least everything that you want him to do would be in one place and you could mark it. Oh, he did this. He did that.
Kind of like your own teacher planner, really.
Right. That's what I was thinking too, was that for that age, you would just use it because, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't even have to assign a student, but you could do out your own syllabus and what you want, what objectives you want to do every day for each of the foundation strands.
Okay. Well, there are a couple of other features that in some ways they're kind of, I don't want to say a can of worms. They're kind of involved. I don't want to bore you or take your time with it unless you want to go over it. But Google Docs is really useful for turning in things. I don't know if you've used Google Docs at all. And also the quiz feature. Are you interested in looking at either one of those or have you had enough for today?
I would like the quiz feature real quick.
Agreed.
Yeah, because I use Google Docs all the time, so I know how to do that for my kids. But especially for collaboration, Google Docs is the best.
Yeah, Missy, have you used Google Docs at all?
Yes, I have. I've used it probably sparingly, but I've used it enough to understand. Is there anything in terms of cohesion with Google Classroom that we need to know about, or it's just pretty straightforward?
It's just you can use them really well via Google Classroom. So I'm going to create another assignment here. And you can create a Google Doc.
Okay.
And it will set it up for you.
Oh.
And your student can do their work right on here and then turn it into you. And when you open up Classroom, I mean, you'll get the email, hey, your student turned in this Google Doc. You can open it up. You can grade it from here. It's useful for collaboration. So that was all I was going to show you. But if you both used Google Docs before, you know how to do it.
No, that was great though, just to see how it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could do that. So that's
Yep.
awesome.
Okay, so for the quizzes, I'm going to create a quiz assignment. You can do it via quiz assignment, or let me go back. You can do the same thing, just create an assignment and then add under forms. You can add a form, and the form you can choose to make it a quiz. Blank quiz.
Quiz.
So
Okay.
either way. Okay, so quizzes are wonderful. Google quizzes are great. They can be simple or they can be powerful, but they can't be both. So what I mean by that is I can do a blank quiz, and I'm going to make this all multiple choice quiz. You give it a little description. Please answer each question. Now, here's my first question. What color is the sky? Option 1, green. Option 2, blue. Option 3, red. And Google Quizzes looks at your question and decides what kind of question it thinks it is. So it thinks this is multiple choice. But if I change my mind and I want this to be check boxes so they can pick more than one, then, I can do that. I can make it a drop down where they pick, one of the options. I can make it a paragraph answer where they have to fill it in, or a short answer where it's just, a few words. Multiple choice are the easiest, most straightforward, least chance of making mistakes. Oh, and I just got rid of all my options. All right, let me put those back. Blue, red, green. Now, if I want Google Quizzes to grade it, I need to do the answer key. So blue is the right answer, and I'm going to make this worth 1 point. I could make it worth 50 points if I wanted to, but I'm going to make it worth 1 point. Neat thing, you can give answer feedback. So if I want to give feedback, I can give feedback for correct answers. What is wrong with you? Are you blind? That's terrible. But I could give that feedback for incorrect answers, correct answers. Good job.
Gotcha.
Save those. Then as the student takes the quiz, they're going to get that feedback right away. I'm done with that question. I'm going to do another question. So I add question here. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? Oswald. I can't type today. Mike. Grant. Again, this is a multiple choice. It automatically gives it 2 points. And I'll tell the reason is it's default. The default setting is for 2 points, but you can change that. I need to have the answer key. Grant is the right answer. I'm not going to give any feedback on this one. Let's just make it 1 point. Done. So these are simple multiple choice. You've keyed it with the right answers. When they take the quiz, it will give you the score. Now, when you are collecting responses, wait a minute. Oh, it's under settings. Sorry, settings. You want to make sure this is a quiz. And this is important if you have more than one student. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Under manage how responses are collected and protected. If you have more than one student, make sure you collect email addresses. If you don't, you will get a bunch of responses, but you won't know who is which response.
Yep.
Oh, 5 students got this right. 6 got it wrong. You'll have no idea who is who. So make sure that you collect email addresses so that you know who got which scores. Let's see, under here, under settings, Release grades immediately after each submission. That means each student sees their score immediately, or you can not let them see the scores until after you see them. That's up to you. I usually just do it immediately. I won't waste your time going through all this stuff. The main thing was telling you to collect email addresses. Presentation, you can have a progress bar, you can shuffle the question order. This is where you can make it very powerful by adjusting all these things. But the more bells and whistles you put on it, the harder it is to manage the quiz. Like I just did here, I'll show you. I did a quiz for Anna, introductory remarks. Here was the quiz. I did a short answer, and I wanted her to, what are the 3 types of natural occurring radiation? I gave her this format. I wanted in this format, and the answer was alpha, beta, gamma.
Right.
And I wanted it alpha, comma, beta, comma, gamma. Or it could have been, let me actually go back and get that quiz and show you how it's set up, because it was kind of a pain in the neck. So here are the way that she could get correct answers. Alpha, beta, gamma, beta, alpha, gamma, gamma, beta, alpha. I had to come up with all of the possible combinations of right answers, because if she put one thing in wrong, it was going to come up, oh, you got this wrong. This one, actually, she did get this one wrong, and I had to go in and manually fix it. It's a short answer, so it was a fill-in. What do we call the standard units for the measurement? I wrote all these different options: System International, System International lowercase. Well, she typed in System International and then parentheses SI. Well, that wasn't one of the options I put in here, so it said she got it wrong. So I had to go back in and correct it. That's what I mean by the more complicated it is, the more like short answer, paragraph, whatever, the harder it is to grade. A simple multiple choice or check boxes, it's going to be easier for this to grade it by itself. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you have any questions about quizzes? Okay. So then I've got it all set up. I actually want to rename it up here. Whoops. This is the name of the quiz that the students will see in there. Oh, and I can send it. If I click send, I can send it to students via email. I can get a link for it. I can embed it. I've never embedded in anything, but I could embed it like if I had a blog post or something. But when I'm done with it, here's your quiz. I'm going to assign it. Oh, I accidentally left it a 100-point quiz. Here it is under quizzes. I didn't put a due date or anything on it. And there's a lot of stuff online. You can just search for how do I do da-da-da-da-da in Google Classroom. And there's a lot of stuff out there to help with that. So I found it much more useful than I thought I would.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's great. Yeah, I'm really excited for the possibility, because I know with challenge and things, it's supposed to be a huge part is them figuring out how to do the work and whatnot. But and I appreciate that. I do see growth in that. But it's so hard sometimes for me grading and having to do, what do you call it? Transcripts now and things. It's like,
right.
What do we have when, and who's not wanting to do their work on the younger side? And I'm, so managing all of that, it's just so nice to think that we might be able to put things down.
Well, I think too, like for this too is something that, so that I can, like you said, you added your husband, so that I can add Kirk and that, he can help me be accountable, for that kind of thing too, or something were to happen if I were to get sick or something, that somebody else could step in, or that the kids could, do that themselves or whatever. Does that make sense? So,
well, as a director, I don't know if either of you are directing, but you could put all of the parents as teachers on the teacher forum, and then everybody's seeing the same thing.
Right.
Now that I said that, though, if you put all the parents as teachers, they would be able to see all of the students' grades and everything. So maybe that privacy might be an issue there.
I guess if you got consent from everyone, like whomever wanted to participate could.
Yeah. Or as a director, you could also do the same thing you would do with your own children and set up a different Google Classroom for each child in your challenge class. And then that wouldn't be too much harder, because when you make an assignment, again, in that drop-down menu on the top right corner of the screen, you can select all the different classes that you have in Google Classroom. So if you had a different Google Classroom set up for each child in the challenge program, each child's parent could be on that. And then when you make an assignment, you just assign it to every kid. So.
And then you could also set that, as if you were a director, you could also set that up where, but it would, because you're not the teacher, you're just a director, so you could just set up the assignments, but then not have like grades. Does that make sense? Like you can set up assignments when things are due or what have you to help keep them on track, but then but the parents could then individually do things for grading.
Yeah, the parent could go in. If you made the parent a co-teacher, the parent can go in and add the grade. You could make a suggested grade if you want it. I know that's a lot of work, but if the parent's like, I have absolutely no idea, you're like, well, on this child's paper, I think I would probably give that a B if I were assigning a grade. But then the parent can go in and change that.